Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which will be the 7th of May. With the Alice Springs Carnival done and dusted for another year, the attention turns to the top end for the next 3 months with a plethora of racing ahead of us. Unfortunately, the fields are on the light side this Saturday, and we only have 4 races, with the benchmark 76 failing to attract sufficient numbers. That said, the fields are competitive, and as usual, we'll try our best to locate a winner or two for our top-end Track Talk watchers. Before we get underway, many congratulations to the connections of all Alice Springs Cup weekend winners, including those associated with Cup winner Count of Essex and back-to-back Pioneer Sprint winner Smuggling. The first race of the 4 this Saturday is timed to go at 3:24 p.m, while the last is scheduled to jump at 5:10 p.m. In the first, the Ladbrokes et Handicap over 1,200 metres. My numbers are 1, 3 and 5. Thought this horse resumed well on the 25th of April, number 1, Noble War, trained by Tayan Holter, Paul Shires in the saddle. That combination ran second in the Pioneer Sprint with Grand Old Galloper Eastwood just last Sunday. So the team's in form. Noble War third, first up behind the impressive Red Wine Lover. I think with that run under the belt will be very hard to beat here in similar grade and over the same trip. Number 1 on top. To beat number 3, Keen as a Bean. Good to see this horse race well the other day. He's had a lot of trouble with this horse, Jason Manning, at the gates. Vanessa Arnott and the team have done a great deal of work with the horse, so credit to them. Went in the other day. Let's hope it goes in again on Saturday. Ran home well too for third. That was behind the impressive First Crusade. Admittedly was beaten a long way, but I just like the way it did its work late. The extra 100 metres will suit. It was 1,100 last time, the 1,200 better for Keen as a Bean, number 3. And then for third, number 5, I'm a Puppet. Sonia Wiseman for Gary Lafoe. 2 good runs, its last 2 here, knocking on the door and must be in the mix. Numbers in the first, 1, 3 and 5. The second's the Sky Racing Handicap, also over 11, oh no, this one's over 1,100, last one was 12. 0 to 64 event, this one. My numbers here are 1, 2 and 6. Interesting little race, this one, with a couple of newcomers to Darwin. I've got one of them on top. Number 1, Ideas Man, trained by Chris Nash and Adam Nichols in the saddle. Pretty good form to recommend from South Australia, where this horse was formerly trained, and trialled nicely recently alongside its stablemate May Amin, who won a pretty good race in the Pioneer Sprint the other day. And I just thought first up on the track with that trial under the belt would take plenty of beating. Number 1, Ideas Man. To beat number 2, Manly Cove. He was disappointing last start here when resuming. Gary Clark trains, Jared Todd rides. That was behind Poupée. He drops in grade though for this, and only has to put his best foot forward and he'll be right in the finish. And in for third, another newcomer to Darwin, number 6, Little Miss Rich, trained by David Bates and Paul Shires in the saddle. Hasn't raced since January, but was a last start winner at Stony Creek. First up in Darwin. I think it'll certainly make its presence felt. So in the second, my numbers are 1, 2 and 6. The third's the Ladbrokes Split Multis Trobus Maiden Plate for the non-winners over 1,100 metres. A field of 9 assembled, but with only the 7 riders, there'll be a couple of scratchings here. My numbers are 6, 8 and 5. Going here with Yarumba, number 6. Only had the one start in Darwin for the Clark stable. Jared Todd in the saddle, of course, the Alice Springs Cup winning jockey aboard Count of Essex. And Yarumba's only start in the top end was in maiden company over 1,000 metres and ran second on that occasion behind Rojo Boom. It was a good effort, I thought too. Rojo Boom has since been to Alice Springs and raced well during the carnival there. Yarumba's been given plenty of time to get over that first up run, and I think it'll be very hard to beat here. Number 6, ahead of number 8, Rich Feelings. Chris Nash trains, Sonia Wiseman rides. Good run last time in higher grade, Class 2 grade. Finished 5th behind Wildfire Rose, only beaten 3 lengths. Back to maiden grade certainly makes all the difference, and I think the 1,100 metres should suit Rich Feelings. Drawn the 1 gate, got it right in the party here. And in for third, number 5, Weapon of Love. Emma Steele trains and Chippy Nichols in the saddle. Second start in the top end. First up was over 1,300 metres. Finished 4th behind Pointo's Pick. Back in trip, I think, is the key to number 5, Weapon of Love. So I've got it into run third. Numbers in race 3 are 6, 8 and 5. Our last is the Bet365 Racing Refunds Handicap. We all could do with a racing refunds, certainly after Alice Springs on Sunday. Man, it was tough down there. This is over 1,600 metres, 0 to 70 event. Only the 5 in it, but a good little field. Any of the 5 can win without causing a surprise. But I've settled on the numbers of 4, 2 and 1. Captain Hedderwick was better the other day. Jared Todd for Gary Clark. That was on the 14th of April. In higher grade over this trip, average benchmark grade. I think the key to this horse is to let him find his feet. He'd been being ridden a little handier recently. It hadn't been finishing off, but they let him find his feet last time. He hit the line strongly behind Orsean, and I think allowed those similar tactics again. He'll be very hard to beat. Number 4, to beat the obvious tough one to beat. Number 2, Yasugi it is, so they tell me. Nicole Irwin trains, Vanessa Arnott in the saddle. I see Nicole just had 150 to 1 winner at Murray Bridge earlier this week, so she's in good form. And Yasugi has won its last 2, one at Balaclava and then one here in Darwin on the 7th of April. That latest run was over this trip of 1,600 metres. Is up in grade for this, but was certainly good leading all the way the other day. And then for third, number 1, Brother Bassie, Phil Cole. He had a very good weekend in Alice Springs. Adam Nichols aboard. Last up winner here on Anzac Day was Brother Bassie. That was 1,200. The step up to a mile is probably the only question mark, but he was very good the other day, and he should certainly be amongst the trifecta picks in the last. Numbers in the 4th, 4, 2 and 1. I've come up with 2 best bets on the day. Couldn't find any roughies with the small field. So the 2 best bets, race 1, number 1, Noble War. Race 1, number 1, Noble War. And the other best bet, race 3, number 6, Yarumba. Race 3, number 6, Yarumba. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. But we'll be back again in advance of our next meeting here in Darwin in a fortnight's time. That's the 21st of May. Don't forget the annual Tennant Creek 2 Cups race day next Saturday, the 14th of May. But until next time here in Darwin, good luck and good punting.